Hello, you guys. This is Total War Master here. Thanks for stopping by. And today I have for you guys some Napoleon Total War. And I'm going to be commanding the French Empire today and the Prussian, against the Prussian Empire. As you guys can see, I did fast forward it a little bit to where the action was because it kind of did take a little while longer to for the battle to start. So anyway, let's go ahead and go over the army comps real quick. I'm gonna put it on slow motion. I'm bringing in 2 units of the Voltigeurs, 2 regiments of the Cuirassiers, 6 regiments of the Fusiliers, 1 howitzer, 6-inch howitzer unit, 3 Swiss foot regiments, I believe, 1 of these awesome old guard guys. I love the old guard, and the general himself, the big guy, the big daddy, Napoleon Bonaparte. And yeah, the rest is history. So on to my Prussian guy. He's bringing in 1 company of these Tower guards, I don't know how to pronounce it, and some hussar units, some musketeers, some of these Silesian Schützen. You guys know from my last video, I think it was my last video, of how deadly these guys can be. He's also bringing in the elite 8th Life Regiment. These guys are looking awesome too, as well as some Prussian Fusiliers. He's also bringing some 7-pounder howitzer and also some elite foot guards, a regular general's staff, more Schützen and Schützen, and some life hussars. So let's go ahead and get this battle going. As you guys can see, we're having a little skirmish going on along here between my Voltigeurs and my I'm just gonna call them chaser units. So I wanted to try and distract this side with my Fusiliers coming up to assist my Voltigeurs and my chasers. So I moved them on up to the hill to see if they can get a better advantage, because as you guys know, the terrain likes to really screw up a lot of stuff. So I put them up there thinking that the terrain would help, but in reality it really didn't. I mean, it did help it did help a little bit, but my artillery did help a little bit more. So we have this skirmish going on between the musketeers units and my Fusiliers. I'm actually glad they were firing on these guys instead of these guys, because it provided me more of a distraction. So now he has his 7-pounder howitzer firing on my chaser and my Fusiliers. So what I decided to do, since these guys weren't really making any kind of progress sitting behind them, I moved them right here in a brick formation, just so I can try and get some shots on their 8th Life and Silesian Schützen regiments. So as you can see, my artillery is doing a fairly good job at holding them. We have these Silesian Schützen taking fire from all sides. We have my Fusiliers and my Voltigeurs taking fire as well. So 8th Life Regiment is holding their positions as best they can. But they're just getting hammered down by these units over here. Let's get in for that close-up view. Terrific. Just terrific. And they finally routed. These guys were really hard. You guys know how tough the Prussian units can be. And another thing is that I think for some reason, I don't know if it was the terrain or it was the effects, But it took the men a really long time to get back to fresh mode again. So they kind of just stayed at very tired. So here I tried to move my Vortigears foolishly to try and take care of the musketeers, not knowing that he had his like cav like right there. I saw that unit over there, but I didn't see the unit that was like right there.
The men are fatigued, sir.
So
I must rest a while.
He charged his cav into my Vortigears. Luckily, I was able to pull them back a little bit, and then I realized, oh shit, he's gonna go for my freaking artillery, and I can't lose my artillery at this point. I might still hold the hill here, but I have very few men and resources left on to hold this hill. Not to mention the musketeer units here are beating back my fusiliers that are trying to hold them. So I noticed that he stopped there. I don't think he noticed my howitzer unit that was there. So I had my Vortigears and my fusiliers frantically firing on them so I can rout them quickly, as well as my artillery getting an awesome hit on them. So there you go, they're going to go ahead and retreat. I haven't really focused too much on this side because, as you guys can see, I did not really put this battle group into a proper... I didn't really use them that much in the game, and it's going to come back and bite me. You guys will see it will. But what I did was I marched some 2 Swiss Guard infantry. Supporting them would be the Old Guard. So you can see these guys putting a awesome tune. Perfect. So, as you guys can see, I have my Vortigears and my Fusiliers trying to avenge the deaths of these Fusiliers over here. So we're going to have these guys start firing on these Musketeers. We also have their 7-pounder howitzer regiment or unit hitting my chaser and my Fusilier regiments. So we were basically at a standstill at this point because I kind of controlled the high ground along here. I did have the idea of moving all my main troops to the hill to try and see if we could hold it, but I did not want to turn my backs over here because I noticed he had some cav stationed right along there. So, excuse me, so I just decided to keep him there for a little while. But as you guys can see, I did take the hill, but it was at a great cost. I lost most of my army from my battle group A. I lost a skirmisher unit. I lost 2 infantry regiments, I think. So it just wasn't doing too well for me. So I started to try and take care of his 7-pounder howitzer, but when they started using canister shell, I knew I had to kind of like pull back a little bit. So that's kind of what I did. I think that's what I did. I hope that's what I did. So along here you can guys see I have my Swiss and my Old Guard attacking the Prussian Fusilier units here. So I kind of got tired of the Fusiliers just holding their ground there. It kind of got me really angry because I don't know how they have this much morale to them. And I also noticed their Schlesien Schützen unit coming. So it was either now or never to try and take out some of their units.
Sir, our general.
So I charged in my Swiss foot into their Prussian Fusilier regiments, and they kept on pulling back. And what kind of got me a little bit was that somehow these units broke the laws of physics for Napoleon and evaded a hand-to-hand combat fight. That is kind of unheard of in this game. Once a unit is committed to fighting and hand-to-hand combat, whether that unit had been charged in before, that unit is to stay there and fight, not run away like that and get away with it. So it kind of caught me off guard when that happened. So I didn't know what to do at this point. So I just had my Swiss foot continue firing on him. I had my other Swiss regiment positioned along here so they can try and deal with the foot guards that were coming along here. He pulled back his Silesian Schützen because they were taking too many casualties from my old guard. So I pulled them back and formed a line formation here to try and destroy the foot guard regiments that are along here. Again, the battle for the hill continues. He's bringing in some more musketeers, as well as two more of his skirmisher units. So you can see we have my old guard trying their hardest to take care of the foot guards. We have my Swiss foot trying to take care of the foot guards. It's just kind of chaos. We have my other Swiss foot regiment trying to kill off the Fusilier regiment here. As you can see, both armies are actually pretty tired at this point. So long here, I didn't really catch it. They charged their cav right into my guys. So before this cav unit could charge into my Swiss, I put these guys both into a square formation. But that's least to say for my old guard. They kind of lost morale. So again, another battle for the hill. He has his Prussian Fusiliers and his Silesian Schützen regiments trying to take on the last of my remaining units on this hill. We also have his musketeer unit trying to take out my Fusilier unit here. I don't know why he diverted those forces over there. So long here, you can see I directed my 6-inch howitzer. That's one thing I don't really like about Napoleon. I don't know if they had that in Empire, but I've never had to face that problem, is ammo shortages. They run out of ammo really fast, and I kind of hate that. So as you can see, I put my, I diverted my artillery to try and assist my infantry that are trying to hold as best they can here. My old guard tried to do a little charge, but it failed. So as you can see, the Swiss foot are trying their hardest to battle the foot guards here. Again, my battle group A army I never focused on too much. So here we have his artillery trying to take out mine. This shell got actually pretty close, and it did end up killing one of them. So good on them. So you can see we still have heavy shelling going on. We have him trying to take out the foot guard unit. And then he charged in his cav into my Swiss foot regiment. So at this point, I got really angry at this. I had my chaser units ready to fire, and they did not fire. And then he stopped, so it gave me some time, but they had to readjust to fire. And it really made me angry. And I knew they were charging from my artillery, so I had my artillery try to fire on them as much as they can. So as you can see, they're going to engage in some
Our
hand-to-hand
men are
combat
running, sir.
or horse-to-hand combat. Then you can see I tried to get him back. I tried to line him up right here and have my Fusiliers try and take him out, but it just wasn't happening for me. So I had lost my one and only artillery piece, and that kind of really made me angry. I have my Fusilier units still trying their best to take out at least one cav unit. So you can see him trying to bravely destroy this cav unit.
Dead, sir.
And they ended up destroying my entire unit of artillery. And then they routed my Fusiliers. So you can see Battle for the Hill still going on with France being the victor up here. He has lost both or two skirmisher units here. These guys eventually lost their ammo, so I had to charge them in. So here I finally used my Battle Group A army, and in my opinion it was
Our
probably
men are running, sir.
already too late for them to be used at this point. So it really made me angry. So you can see he has his foot guards and his Silesian Schützen firing at my poor retreating Swiss foot. So here I diverted the last Fusilier units I had to try and take care of their cav because I knew they were coming from my Napoleon unit. I don't know what he was doing the entire time that made him exhausted, but I didn't care. I knew I had to get him to safety somehow. And thank God I did it. These guys stopped, giving me valuable time for my Swiss foot to come around and take care of these Luftwaffe Freikorps unit here. Leading to my Swiss foot getting a massive and awesome rout on these guys. So as you can see, I have my last two Fusilier units lining up to try and take care of the foot guard unit that's here. So as you can see, he has his Tower Z regiment coming around here. You have to remember I didn't have any ammo left for these guys, so they're basically just free game. But they did charge into this Fusilier unit here. So that was pretty good. They were able to get a few kills off of them, but it wasn't enough to rout. And then eventually they charge into my guys, and then I think we rout the Tower T guys. So my guys are going to be able to get off, I think, one more or a few more shots. Yeah. So we have the Fusiliers of the line trying their best to hold and take out the Tower T regiments, getting awesome point-blank range fires, and then the whole regiment was gone, except for one guy. So finally, I decided to get him off of that hill. There was no point in defending it anymore. I had already wasted so much men and resources on it. So I pulled them back here to try and take out their 7-pounder howitzer unit, but they had their 8th Life Regiment there. But I thought, you know what, I might as well go for it. So, along here we have the Swiss foot unit firing on the retreating dragoon units that they had shattered before, I think. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and fast forward this because not much happens at this point. But the only thing that really does happen is that I moved in my Fusiliers to try and take out the 7-pounder howitzer.
One of our units has used
And
all
then
its ammunition,
they
sir.
lost their ammunition. So I had to charge them in to take care of the artillery. And I think we finally routed them. So along here, he's slowly but surely moving up his foot guard units here against my skirmisher line. And they got in range and they started to open fire on him. So they're getting some fairly good kills off of these guys. And then I didn't notice it. He charged his cav lancers right in my chaser units. I did my best to try and get him to shoot at the lancers, which in my opinion this should have been enough to rout him, so it was. And he ended up losing that unit, of course. So we have my Voltigeurs firing as much as they can on these foot guard units and the musketeers. So along here we routed his howitzer unit, but he sent in some. He sent in his 8th Life Regiment to try and take out my Fusiliers. I can't. And then they ended up breaking my guy. My guys. So here I diverted my Fusilier, my 2nd Fusilier line regiment, to try and shoot him from behind while he had his foot guards charge into me. So he had his foot guards originally charging into my Fusiliers, but he had the brilliant idea to charge into my Voltigeurs units. So I moved in Napoleon, and I used his rally ability to try and rout up my troops. But it didn't work. They died in vain. So here we have my Fusilier units trying their best to shoot out these foot guard units. So here goes their cav charge here. My biggest mistake was that I had my main infantry army like right there. I didn't do what I normally did and put my infantry behind the Voltigeurs to back up, or the chasers to back them up. So in retaliation, I charged in Napoleon. And then I charged him back because I wanted to get my Swiss foot in there to get a good volley in there on him.
Our men are running, sir.
So as you can see, Prussia is doing their best and hardest to try and kill my guys. My Swiss foot doing their best to try and take care of these Life Hustler units. And they got off a few volleys off of them. And I think it will lead to a rout on their part, I think. Yeah, so it led to a rout. they're trying to take care of my Fusiliers. He has his foot guard and his musketeer units firing down on my last and final infantry regiment units that are useful to me still. I still had Napoleon. He was kind of giving strength to the troops a little bit. So as you can see, we have my Fusilier regiment still trying to take care of the foot guards. So I charged in my Swiss foot in a last-ditch effort to try and turn the tide. I also charged in Napoleon with my Voltigeur units backing up them from the Silesian Schutzen. So we finally routed these foot guard units here, and then I got a little bit cocky with Napoleon, and I told him to start attacking this musketeer unit here.
Our men are running, sir.
And then I had finally lost Napoleon. So bye-bye Napoleon, or bye-bye General Staff. So, leading to the death of Napoleon, my Swiss foot and my Voltigeurs finally cracked, and I had nothing left to do, and all I had were this Fusilier of line and another Fusilier of line, and we have his musketeers just firing on my poor helpless Swiss. So I pulled back my Fusiliers. Those guys had ammo. These guys didn't. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward it because this is just going to be a long fight here. So my initial plan was to try and poke him a little bit. I put my melee unit in the woods here to hide him, and my main plan was to try and see if he would send in one at a time, because maybe he would get cocky and think that, oh well, I don't need to put all my whole army into this. So anyway, I tried to go along with that plan, but I knew that that wasn't going to work because he was moving in his whole army. So that was kind of an indication that he had the intention on moving in his whole army. So as you can see, I moved in my Fusilier regiment to try and get him in range of well, there you go. To try and get him in range of the musketeer units here. I got off 4 volleys and then I pulled them back and I sent in my melee troops and they finally cracked.
Men are running, sir.
And then my last Fusilier regiment cracked under pressure. So anyway, good game to my opponent, Ogre Evad. I don't know how to pronounce your name. You were a good player, man, but I have to admit I wasn't on my A game on that game. For one, I didn't bring as much cab as I would have liked to. And one, I just wasn't focusing on the game as much as I should have. So I will admit he was a fairly good player, but because I just wasn't in the game and because I wasn't deploying good enough tactics, led to my utter defeat. So anyway, guys, this is Total War Master signing off. Oh, one more thing. I am thinking about doing a campaign for either Napoleon or Empire. So I want you guys to go ahead and go in the comment section and tell me whether you want Empire or Napoleon, and tell me what faction you want me to play as, and I'll do it. So anyway, this is Total War Master signing off.